So this is the part two where I talk about a bit more about the heartbreak and recovery and all sorts of things. So I wrote this email and my intention wasn't to upset this particular lady, and based on the interest and based on getting along well and connecting with this woman as a friend, I basically felt like I've never loved someone so much before in my life. It sounds stupid, I know, but it's just that I felt that in this time, because I wasn't looking for a relationship, I just had this connection that I felt in myself anyway, but obviously I didn't have it. She didn't exactly feel the same. I think she enjoyed my company, and we were friends and we could talk about sort of things out there. But now I've realised, basically where I stood in relation to her, and possibly I might have come across as being manipulative, but when you're in this emotional state, you're not exactly the same version of yourself. You're like some hyped up, drugged out version. So basically the crush had hit a kind of fever point, and I wrote about the crush and about how I felt so much joy when I looked at her, and still weird things. I think I probably sounded a bit too romantic. Now, a lot of us guys believe or we might be, I don't know, we believe this Disney reality of playing the knight in shining armour and saving the day. And I put a lot of energy into researching her health condition, looking for alternative therapies and ways to heal her, and things like that, because I wanted to have a long life, I wanted to be happy, and I wanted to enjoy. I mean, she's got a young child as well, and obviously mention names and etc., or even get into the condition. Not in this video anyway. And yeah, I mean, it's just basically it's a degenerative at some level, and I didn't want her to suffer. So I just wanted to get her as healthy as possible. So I basically put a lot of my energy in, and that's because I started to develop feelings for her. And often with women, when they like a person as a friend, and he's male, they might ask him to help out and do things for them. So I think it started out like, oh well, if you got these type of videos, links and stuff, send links across. And I just started to send links, but then later on it just started to write a little bit as well. So so my world collapsed at that point. It felt like it just collapsed on itself, because I suddenly thought, for some reason, I thought that she would be happy with it. I never thought to myself, it never stopped to think, if I wrote this and I upset her, she won't want to have anything to do with me again. It never even dawned in my mind. So that's the first thing, right? So if you are writing emails to the person, emails are probably the worst way to communicate. The best way to communicate, see what's more attractive to a woman is if she sees you in person, because then you're showing, it's more mature, and chemically, if you do, you can read the situation better. Put it that way, if you're focused on it. But if you're not, and it's difficult, maybe you need to take a break from it. That's one of the things. Give yourself a break, because often we don't. And men become tunnel visioned. We're built for survival, and we see the goal and what we want and where to go, and that's the trigger for it. We haven't necessarily spent all the time re-engineering our thinking to be more productive, maybe in the same way, or organised in the same way as a woman. It may be that we just want, well, I could say productive, but mentally productive. I mean, physically, we tend to get on with the jobs and that singularity of thinking, like seeing the job, getting it done, it works quite well for us. Where's he going? Okay. Right. I basically took a bit of a blow, and I thought to myself, well, maybe in a week or two it'll change, and she basically want to be back in contact with me, or at least we can talk, or something like that. Because I haven't spoken to her. I mean, originally when I saw this email and it said basically, just don't bother coming round, and please don't bother coming round, and all these other things on it. And I just sort of went, whoa, and it sort of hit me hard actually, because at the time I was watching a video, and and I was just thinking it'd be nicer if I come round. And when I saw that message from her, I thought, shit, what have I done? And the panic hit me. So there's a few things. Don't send a message if you can't deal with the impact of it, and possibly reread it and stuff and sit on it, especially if it's a bombshell message. Ideally, like I say, in person, deal with people rather than emails. As a bloke, don't tell someone you love them in an email or text or something. It will never do you any justice, and you can't really read it, because the thing is, with an email, right, you could write so much at one go that you haven't just upset someone, you pushed them over the edge. And if you spoke to it in person and said, look, I've got these really strong feelings, you said, look, I'm not interested, okay, I would rather you were just a friend. I said, fine, you could at least do the mature thing and say, well, okay, I need to take some time out or sort my head out then. But you can't do that with an email. Even once you've said all these things, you've thrown it into their lap and they can throw it back at you. And then that's it, you've lost them. You can pretty much lose them straight away. And there's certain things. There's this stuff they always talk about, push me and pulling. They've got to put some energy into it to work for it. So if someone wants you to do work around their property, they want you to do something for them, they may be comfortable around you, but what they want you to do is be their friend and do stuff. When they want to come around and do things for you, then it's a different story. So, if they cooked you dinner and invited you around for dinner, or talked about going out together somewhere and stuff like that, that would be totally different. If somebody wants to come around and paint their bloody wall, but you, as a bloke, you just be happy helping people out, and you'll be happy at the idea of getting close to this person, but you're not really going towards the direction where you want to be. So the mistake is I was over-energised with these emotions. I never was. At the time, I was not looking for a partner at all. It's just that I found this person, I thought, she's interesting. In the background, I had feelings since I met her. She just made me feel good about myself. I thought, she's just, there's something about this woman. She just makes me feel good. And I don't think I could ever shake that completely. I think I can re-engineer my brain to accept her as a friend. I'll always like her, but I just have to get on with my life now. And it's not a possibility at the moment. It may never be a possibility. So I'll get back into that as well. So I left, I didn't have any contact with her for a while, for a week or two. I decided that I wouldn't send her any texts because I had a feeling she wouldn't like that anyway. And then I thought, well, if she doesn't want to see me and I can't phone her up, I think, well, maybe I'll send her a gift or something. Just go, I'm sorry. So I started sending some gifts. I started sending gifts, only a few little gifts, the things that I thought she would like. I know she likes crystals, and she's into different things like that. And I could see, because I sent it from eBay straight there, I could see that she signed or accepted some delivery. It wasn't anything dodgy, it was just like one gift every so often. And then I tried to write some emails, and eventually she said, look, no, I don't want any gifts, don't want any contact. She never said anything really bad. It was just that because how women communicate are slightly different from men. I don't think she's anti-me. It's not like she said, look, I don't like you, please do not contact me. She just said, look, I don't want any contact from you, okay? Or I don't want any emails, I don't want any gifts. So that's that. So they basically draw a line now under that. She said, you're causing major anxiety. It's because I was in two minds whether to bring a bunch of flowers around to her property and just give them to her and say, look, I'm sorry for what I caused you, and then I don't know whether it would end up, close the door in my face and I'd just leave them by the step, or she would say, look, maybe we should talk some other time, or whatever, really something. Because as a guy, I like to talk directly with somebody when I'm in that situation. However, it was really difficult to talk about love in the first place, and that's probably why I chose an email method, because the circumstance was never there. We were sitting down where I could say, look, I've started to develop some big feelings for you. what do you think I should go? How do you think I should deal with these emotions? And if she said that made her uncomfortable, then you could get the drift of it. So I sent some gifts for a bit, and so the gifts she accepted. So they are in essence reminders of me, and they don't have any attachment as in I'm asking for anything particular. However, it was probably confusing to her. Why is he sending me a gift? And it was basically because I'm sorry and so on. I did, when I sent the flowers round, I said, look, I miss you, Regina, and you're lovely. You know, I don't think I said lovely. I think I said, I miss your friendship. And I've said why, and I've left it like that. And so I don't know, it feels like she's punishing me, but in reality I'm punishing myself. And so you just got to let go of these feelings. So there might be some other parts of this. I'm just really telling you things that I've learned from this experience as well as the experience. I'm sure there's other guys and also women, maybe they want to know why guys act the same way. So certain ways after that. So her language, I was kind of reading it differently. It was, if someone says, so she says, oh, I've got a problem with my boyfriend in the past, and you've fallen in love with it, and you're a guy, you feel territorial and protective, and what you really want to do is take away the object of her pain and discomfort, and that's not your job. And also the job isn't to try to fix her. Women don't want to be fixed, they want to deal with their own challenges, and it's respecting that. They might if they ask you for help, then you can look at how you're going to help them. But then there might be times where maybe it's better that they learn the process themselves, and they might respect you long term for doing that. So that's at one level. So I couldn't sleep, my blood pressure went through the roof, my heart rate was high, stress, anxiety, I had to work as well, and I'm thinking I can't handle it. And I had other things going on in my life. My dad's unwell, and why are you on my side? Get the fuck back over it. And I also had to sort some money problems out. So it was really, for me, it was sort of eating away at me quite a lot, all these things. And so I went to the doctor. I said, look, I'm just hoping I'm well with myself, and my head's buzzing with things. And also, you get ruminations, you get thoughts like, how do we fix this? How do we get this back together? Should we say this? Should we do that? It's like you've got a little gremlin living in your brain that's trying to get you into as much trouble as possible. It's because there's a part of men, okay, and well, in me, there's a part where I might, in essence, I try to avoid conflict, but there's also a part of me that says I just do what I like, and don't care, and so that sometimes is, it's just I'm not sort of held by any particular rules, and I just do things sometimes. So, like spontaneous type stuff, really, isn't it? And so I just ran with it, and these sort of thoughts. So I went to the doctor. The doctor said, "Hey, there's a difference between depression and a low mood." He turned around and said, "You're having a low mood. I mean, it's not like this is terminal. You can't come back from it. It's not like I say run over somebody or did something terrible that this just kind of destroyed me emotionally inside." So I didn't get any help from him, but he did say, look, get out there and socialise, do things that strengthen yourself emotionally and stuff like that. He did start asking questions. So, well, who's this person? So this person was what? You were involved in a work capacity? What's going on? So yeah, it was interested to know what's going on. However, she was, like I say, she's okay in herself, put it that way. It's a tricky one to say all this stuff, isn't it? It wasn't a real big problem, put it that way. Position. So I'm going to do some other parts as well, and if there's anything I've done to sort of sort my brain out and what you should never do. I've never done some of these things that I never do. So yeah, so this is Peter's signing off in this video, and I will get back to you with some other parts.